What's happening, guys? So we are looking at AMC and GME after the big sell-off this morning, the big push yesterday after market up to 200 GME. Now today we had a big sell-off, and I just made a recap video that I'll be uploading in a minute or two. But as of right now, I just figured I'd go live. I just had some trades that I recorded, so these will be in my recap. My shorts here on AMC. So I had been shorting it pretty much all day, but I also came back, saw I missed this big move, and then was able to catch some of this downward pressure as it kind of broke lower. So yeah, this has been my my luck, is to be able to short and then cover at the bottoms, but then rip back against me. And today I pretty much did this consistently, had good trades, but I just over traded. That's all it was. I was profitable on the day, but this was just too much. Like this, everything over here I'm fine with. This I'm fine with. This I'm not fine with. And a lot of these are wins. A lot of these are wins, small wins, and or me just covering break even because I figured GME looked like it was gonna rip. So then I was like, okay, I want to cover. So this is not typically how I trade. This is how I try not to trade. Just so you guys know. This is how I typically like to trade right here. Few trades, and this is like relatively cheap. 1 cent a share. So this is like maybe $1 or $2 right here from these trades, $1, $2, $3 in commissions. This is $10, $15 in commissions, which just can't be happening. But either way, it's not a big deal. It's really irrelevant. $10 is not not gonna be. It just hurts me, right? It just makes me mad. I just don't like seeing that, especially when I'm up like $50. Then I'm like, oh, but I'm really only up like 30 after commissions, and that kind of drives me nuts. But it's okay. It's okay. It is okay. Because we are watching GME and AMC, and we are going to see what happens here. Now, a lot of times, in this last 30 minutes, hour or whatever, especially when you get into the aftermarket, after the close, you have this kind of push for stocks to either move up or move lower depending on the sentiment for the day, or depending on how people feel they're going to go in the next day, so in the next trading session. So if people feel they're going to rebound, so if people feel GME is going to rebound, then they're going to try and get in close to the end of the day. So towards 4 o'clock, they're going to try and load up on shares so that they can hold through the aftermarket. Because if you look at GME yesterday, what it did is during the day it really did nothing, right? It wasn't till about 3 o'clock when it broke this $50 level and really just ripped all the way to almost 100, and then it closed and ripped again to 130, 150, 200, and then it pulled back. And then this morning we got a little bit of a pop, but then once the market opened, we had a huge flush, and I was shorting AMC on that flush because I can't short GMC or GME, unfortunately. My broker doesn't let me, so I was shorting AMC, and basically was able to catch the same momentum but on AMC. And so because, we had that big sell-off, then we had this big buying opportunity where people kind of pushed this thing right back up, right? And then we had another sell-off. So that was kind of the, I guess the kind of the bulls taking over once the bears kind of had their fill here towards 100, and then it held at 100, which obviously makes sense. Psychological level of $100 makes a lot of sense for it to come down and hold and then pop back up. And now you're having this kind of move lower, but we're not breaking these lows, right? And so we're starting to hold and even starting to stair step up, which is why I was hesitant to hold these shorts on AMC and why I'm hesitant to get back in shorting AMC until I see some sort of weakness on any of these. So like GME really needs to break down below 130 and then towards 125. If it can break this low 126 and go down towards 125, then I'll probably get back in with the shorts on AMC, knowing that it probably does want to keep going lower. But if it wants to hang out in this area here, or even dip a little lower, hold the 127s and then move higher, this looks like it is it's still in an upward trend, right? So because even when stocks go up, they have to have a pullback, right? Eventually they have to have selling pressure that takes over, and then once the kind of the shorts have their fill, then the longs get in and take over. So right now we're in a level of consolidation with GME right now where it's really testing this volume weighted average price, this 140 level, 143, and it's kind of, you know, testing its support levels here of 130 and then 125. So if the volume weighted average price starts to act as resistance and it starts to get really heavy on itself, then we might see some serious selling pressure towards the end of the day, people wanting to unload their shares, not wanting to hold this into the close, knowing that it might go lower. So that's definitely a possibility. So it's going to test that low. You see kind of this starting to curl downwards. So you see like these pressures where like it starts curling up. It's kind of, and then you see this starting to curl downwards. It's curling downwards, curling downwards. Depending on, like I said, normally most stocks I would be like, yes, get short here, just get in because this thing looks weak, and use the volume weighted average price as your stop. But unfortunately, you know, especially on AMC, like the volume weighted average price is you know, basically $1.07 away to the upside. So that's a long way away to have a stop, and that's one of the reasons why it's hard to get short in these kind of areas, because you have kind of not a lot to gain but a lot to lose, right? Because what do you have to gain here, right? Like the stock's already been beaten down from like $10. What is it going to go down to? 8? Sure, it might go to 8, sure. And you know, that's probably the biggest move you're going to get is to 8, and that might take you the rest of the day, right? But you don't know. And then if it goes up, it could break towards 10 and towards 11 again quickly. Like you see what GME does. You see this volume on GME, this buying volume here. And I should probably go change my thing on YouTube because it's gonna have a different name, and I want to change the name. I want to change the name. I should be live. Edit is what I edit this. Whoo. Whoo. Good GME, guys. Back up to 150. And see, like, why is AMC not following, right? It's interesting. But I feel like AMC is probably going to be a nice long here. Because you see that kind of buying pressure, right? So I might even think about going long here on AMC. It's funny because it gets none of the upward pressure, but all of the downward pressure, right? Like I was just saying, like I kind of like this thing more as a long now because of how extended it is from the VWAP. Whereas GME, it's basically right at the VWAP. So you're having that resistance, which is why you're having that selling, right? Whereas like AMC, it's already sold off so much that really you have like maybe 30, 40 cents to the downside more. I just don't know. But yeah, you see, like it got all of the upside, or it got none of the upside there, but all of the downside. Like it basically went up like 10 cents as GME went up $10. Oh, sorry. Now it's giving up. Now it's giving up. So now they might be kind of. So now it seems like GME is following AMC now. No, I haven't actually tried to short GME, to be honest with you. I haven't really tried to short it. I just know that normally, it's 500% margin rate. Holy fuck. Okay. Yeah. For like 3 shares. Actually, no, I'll put in a limit because I don't want to. I want to get in a spot when I don't want to be there. I'm just gonna put this order out just to see if there is a chance for me to short. Okay, there is a chance for me to short. Okay, so maybe I can short GME. We'll see. So it's so weird because before it was it wasn't letting you short it. It was basically restricting it, but seems like they're allowing it now. Interesting. Oh, AMC, no. AMC's just giving up. AMC's like, I'm done. I don't like that. Feel like this is gonna flush just because like the way it's moving with kind of thing. I don't know. Might get in here. All right, so I'm in GME. I don't even know where I got filled. Oh, I'm in at 136, which is all right. Whew. All right then. right then. Bounces like right back up. Ugh. Trying to capitulate, but there's just buyers stepping in. I don't like the fact that there's buyers stepping in, but they are stepping in. Alright, I like that. I like that though. We can keep going that way. Get a lot more if we can keep going that way. Yep, no. I'm probably just gonna get out of this thing, to be honest with you. Oh, there it is. Yes. Woo! What a trade. What a trade. What a trade. Oh, I didn't even know I could trade fucking GME. Wow, but I can. Oh, now I wish I would have held it. Wow. Wow. Wish I would have held it. GME just giving up. That was a nice trade on GME, guys. Those are two nice trades. AMC trade there, and then the GME trade were two nice trades. It's really just, like, for me, it was really just kind of reading the tape, but also understanding that it seemed like AMC was starting to lead the way, whereas GME was kind of leading the way before, and AMC would react to GME, whereas now it seemed like GME or AMC was moving downward, and AMC was kind of, or AMC was moving downward, and GME was kind of not. So I was like, And the way this candle looked here, like this is a bear flag right here, right, where you have these big downward pressure and then this small level of buying, and then this kind of next candle where you have this instant rejection, right? Because that's what you're going to have here. You're going to have a move back up to the VWAP and then maybe a rejection, or you're going to have a rejection here. But knowing I can get in here with my stop at the VWAP, not too bad, but also knowing that if it kind of gives us a nice move like it did, then we can capitalize on kind of the volatility. And yeah, it wasn't bad. And because like I would have been in there with more position, but as you see, the margin rate here, unfortunately, like the margin rate 500%, I really can't trade with huge size. So unfortunately, yeah, it kind of restricts my ability to trade it. Damn, it keeps going down, keeps going down, keeps going down, 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 down. It keeps on going down. Jeez Louise. This thing is just ripping to the downside. And you know, like normally I try to be getting short on this, but it's just like, man, all right, from 140 down to 115, you know, and I already made the move, and I shorted it, you know, throughout most of that move, but I figured there'd be a little bit of a bounce. Seems like there's no bounce coming. And this is one of the areas where I hesitate to get in short, mainly because if it bounces, you could get a move 20, you know, like here, look, it just moved up $3 and it could move up above 20 again. And then you're looking at a move to 125 and it's up $10 from where it was when you tried to short it, you know, and then you're covering for a loss because you tried to short it at the bottom instead of understanding where kind of you have to anticipate, which is why when I shorted here and when I shorted here, you see it's after these flags. We have flags, and then this was a small green candle for a second showing you that there was a little bit of buying pressure, but then it went red showing you that there's really not a lot of buyers. So I wanted to get in following the trend, get out when the trend looked like it was wanting to reverse, and then when it wanted to go lower, I you know, because I saw AMC moving lower, I was like, this looks like a bear flag on GME, and if it wants to follow AMC, guess what's going to happen? And what did I just say, guys? It's going to bounce back up to what? 125. And then you would have been, if you would have been shorting down here at 115 or even at 114, 113, guess what? You're down $10 right now. You're down almost 10% right now. And you may wonder why I'm not going long, and it's like, I will go long. You know, the biggest problem here is it's below the VWAP. So, like, I only really like to take stocks long if they're above the VWAP. So if I would have been watching it here, but this is when I kind of stepped away, when it broke above here and came back, this is where I would want to be a buyer. Anywhere in this range here, right? Knowing that the VWAP's your stop, and if it wants to go higher, then you see what it does, right? But I don't want to be a buyer down here. I don't want to be a buyer, especially at this time of day. Knowing that, you know, like back down $5 from where it just was, it's going to rip. It's going to have these bounces, but then it's going to rip and it's going to flush. And towards the end of the day, if it doesn't look like it's strong, then people are going to take their profits. People are going to get out of this thing. So that was a nice trade there. It was a nice trade on GME though. That right there, in at 136, out at 128. So that's what? That's $8 a share, $8 a share. It's not bad. It's not bad. I probably won't take any more trades just because now I've got myself back to a nice green day. And, you know, it's funny because I probably made just as much in this trade as I did. Well, I made as much in these two trades as I did in the entire morning. So these like 15 trades or 10 or 15 trades, whatever it is, are basically the equivalent to this trade and this trade in terms of the actual value, especially because these cost a lot more in commissions. So that's basically $10-15 in commissions, and you know, making $40-50 but losing 20 of it to commissions. And then this is making, you know, $50-60 in what? So this is 3 cents. This cost me 3 cents. That cost me 6 cents to trade GME. It cost me 6 cents. So I made about $40 there, and it cost me 6 cents. AMC, this trade here, cost me about 60 cents, and the made about the same, about a little less, probably 25-30 on that trade. Got in there for the break of 9, so I saw it coming down. I thought about getting it in up here, but I was kind of wondering if it was going to bounce, and then I saw it break 9. I got in for the break of 9, added to it as it fell lower, covered in the 860s. So 868s, you know, from 895, 880 is 20-30 cents a share. Not bad on an $8-9 stock. That's not bad. 3 or 4% right there. So you saw my trades for the day. You know, not a bad day, pretty good day, all considering. I don't necessarily want to go throw it away by trying to chase this, or you know, because like I said, it's one of those things where, especially AMC, it's so beaten down and it's so extended from the VWAP that I really don't like. I really don't like the short. But it's funny because I was saying the same thing around here, and I was like, what do you have? Like maybe down to 8, and then, you know, so it broke 8, gave you to 785. So if you think it can break and go lower, then maybe, but I don't know, man. That to me seems like it might be the low And the same with GME, you know, like it's really hasn't been able to break this $100 low, and now it kind of has come down to the 115, but it really hasn't been able to give us any solid downward pressure to where you'd be comfortable, you know, holding a short through the close into the tomorrow. I definitely wouldn't feel comfortable holding a short on GME. So hit the thumbs up, guys. If you like seeing these live trades, if you want me to do more live trades, I try sometimes. My computer lags a lot when I try to stream, so that's why like I tend not to, because like I don't want to be in a laggy situation where I'm trying to make a trade and you know, everything's lagging. It's like, it's not the way I want to do it. So normally I will just do the recaps, but I try to get you some live trades if I can, right? So like I did here, I kind of was like, you know what, I was recording, I was doing my recap, and then I wasn't sure if I was going to take a trade. I took a trade on AMC. So then I was like, all right, let me just, you know, hold everything. I'll finish the recap. The recap will be up after this video, and then I'm going to start a new stream. So I opened a new stream, and I, you know, just started recording. And then that's when I got into this GME trade. So you guys got a live trade on the GME, and you got a live trade on the recording that's going to be coming up. So that'll be something to look forward to. Ooh, and now we have GME wanting to test the lows. So like I said, right, we have this kind of 100, 113 level here, where if it can break those levels, then you're going to look at a move down, substantially down. So if it can break 100, you're looking at a move back down to $50, $60. If it can hold 115, if it can hold 120, you're going to look at a move back to 150 probably in the after hours. So this is what's going to tell us right now what this thing wants to do into the close. So this into the after hours, this thing is going to tell you what it wants to do. Right now it looks bearish. Right now it looks like it wants to sell off. Right now it looks like it wants to break 115. Right now it looks like it wants to break 100, or maybe at least 110. If it breaks the low here of 113.07, it's starting to look bullish, or sorry, bearish. But if it kind of holds these levels, then I don't think you're going to see much more of a sell-off. Especially because yesterday, this is the same time when it was ripping, right? So a lot of people are probably looking at it like, oh, it's gonna rip again. Let's get in. And that's why you're gonna see big buying pressure. So the shorts are gonna get kind of taken for a ride if they're not, you know, if they don't have a plan. The shorts are gonna get taken for a ride. And that's one of the things, right? It's like people sometimes will be like, oh, why did you cover in this candle? You could have held it and covered at 113 and it would have been a monster trade. And it's like, yeah, sure, it would have been. But it could also have reversed right here. This could have flopped all the way back up to the VWAP to 140 in one candle like it does on, and I would have been down $4 a share instead of making $8 a share to deposit to the good side, right? This is one of the reasons why you need to take your profits while they're there. If I could have got in with double the position, or at least a little bit more, I probably would have got it with half and then covered half and then maybe held for that lower move. But unfortunately, I could only get 3 shares. So, you know, it's nothing amazing, right? Like we're talking like basically $400, you know? So it is what it is though. And that, like I said, that's because of the short sale restriction, right? So that's because of the short margin rate. It's 500%. So you need to have 5 times the amount of capital to trade with. So you can only short with 5 times the amount, or with basically you need to have 5 times the cash for the position you take, more than the position you take. So if you want to take 100 shares, you need to have $500 in cash. to take that $100 position. That's essentially what that means. So that's why I could only take 3 shares. But remember what I say, right? If it can hold 115, if it can hold this kind of low and start making a move higher, then we have a look back up to 150 in the after hours. If it can't, or if it just consolidates here and doesn't give us much more upward movements, but starts to consolidate lower, then we're looking at a move lower as well. But it really, right now, is starting to look like it doesn't know what it wants to do. So it looks like a deer in the headlights. Looks like a stock that people are just unsure about. And you see this, the longs are starting to step back and the shorts are starting to get in. So now it's testing that low. 114. So my chart's slow. It's lagging because it's already back up to 116, but not on my chart. Weird. It's moving lower. Broke that low of 113. Broke it here. So 112 is now the new low. So when it does that, when it kind of comes down and breaks that low and then gets bought up, what it's telling you is that there's support in this level here. In the 110s, there's support. So there's people coming in to buy it. But when it constantly breaks these lows, it's generally going to move lower. And the reason for that is because generally when you have a support level and that support level doesn't hold, like you see right here, right? 12 was the support level, 13 was the support level, 13 broke, 12 came, and now 12 broke, right? So it's like those little, it constantly tests those levels and it tries to break them. And if it can break them, even if it's by, a couple cents or like 30, 40 cents, it still gives you the idea that it wants to go lower and that those support levels are not as strong as they should be, right? Because that 13, if it was really going to hold, it would have never broken it. But because it broke it, now we're looking at a move back down to 100. Now we're looking at a move back down below 100. And it's because of this stair stepping down, right? Now it's in the stair stepping down motion, right? So it's stair stepping down. Comes up, tries to break, nope, goes lower. Tests the lows, breaks the lows. Tests the lows, breaks the lows. So, looks bearish. Looks very bearish. It broke 110, but only slightly. But this is the same thing I meant by, like, it does this when it breaks it just by that little bit there. It's showing you that it still wants to go lower, even when it pushes up, because everybody wants to try and get a piece of the bounce. But once those people are starting to capitulate and they start to get out and they panic, just like they're doing here, people are going to start to sell. And then once it doesn't hold those levels, once it doesn't push higher, and once it starts to show you weakness again, then everybody starts to bail out, and then you have a move lower, and then you have a move back down to $100. And you see AMC just slowly creeping up, right? So these two stocks have kind of started to separate from each other. They're no longer trading in tandem. They're now trading as different entities, and people are starting to look at AMC differently than they're starting to look at GME. And then for one of the reasons is because of how extended it was from the volume weighted average price, like I said, right? I didn't think it was going to break down much lower than 785 because it's just so extended. Even as GME breaks down lower, it's still not. But now GME is starting to look extended from the VWAP. But because of this downward pressure still, and because it's so overextended, we still are seeing this lower move. And because last time, over here it held at 101, as it gets closer to that level, you're going to have buyers stepping in, just inherently trying to predict that it's going to do the same thing it did this morning, where it hits this 100 level and then it bounces all the way back up to 184, right? So they're hoping that if they get in here at 100 or in the 10 whatevers, once it goes into the close in 5 minutes, it'll start to bounce again, and it goes up and tests the 150 again, right? Basically does what it does yesterday, because this is close to the level, close to the closing price yesterday, right? Oh, I really want to take a short, but it's the problem is like I said, it's either going to break 100 and give you a big move lower, or it's going to bounce, and I really don't want to be in it for the bounce, because I'd love to catch that move lower, because it's going to break 100 and it's going to give you a huge move lower if it does. But if it bounces, this thing's going to go back up to 120, 125 probably. And I do not want to be holding short for that, because it's going to happen quick. But you see it's selling off. So it's probably going to break 100. It's probably going to rip lower. Damn. Yep. So it's bearish now. Everybody's starting to get out. Everybody that bought it today basically are getting out. People that bought it even yesterday probably into the close that are hoping for 200. If they didn't sell, they're getting out. Yeah. Basically just everybody's getting out. This is just panic selling. But like I said, now is the bounce, right? Now is the test. Right now. This is it. 101. If this holds, if 101 holds, then this is gonna bounce. It's gonna bounce big. It's already up $4 basically. Yep. And that's what I was saying. Like, that's why I didn't want to get short, because if it doesn't break, it's gonna bounce, and it's gonna really bounce. It's not just gonna bounce a little bit. It's gonna bounce a lot. So we got 3 minutes to the bell, to the closing bell, that is. GME's back down to 105. It's kind of consolidating now, but looking like it wants to push higher. So this bounce is starting to, the shorts are starting to realize that maybe the move has happened already, so they're starting to cover, which is going to help push this higher as the longs start to realize that, hey, I can get in using 100 as my kind of stop, and probably make a nice trade here. So it's testing 101 again. Here we go. Is it going to break? Is it going to break this time? It's going to break. Oh yeah, it's going to break. It broke the low of before. Oh, I guess never mind. It did that already. So 101 is now the new low. So before the low was like 101.60, so it broke it there, I thought, but I guess it already broke it before. So now it's got to break 101. And if it doesn't, like I said, it's going to start to act as support. And that $100 is a big psychological level. It's big. So that's why I say, like, if it breaks, it's going to really break. But if it doesn't, you're going to have a big bounce. Gave you a nice one there. Or it already really gave you the bounce. So, I mean, if it doesn't bounce anymore, it makes sense. But probably will, because it's GME. So, like, remember what I was saying? Back to 125? That's probably what you're going to see here. As the short's starting to cover, starts to break those highs, right? Breaks that high, starts to break these highs, starts to show you that it wants to, you know, kind of reverse and hold these lows. And this is why I wasn't getting short anywhere below this 110 level, right? Because, I mean, unless you're getting in at 110 and covering at 100, which is, you know, fine if you want to do that, then do it. But this is one of the riskiest areas to short a stock, is when it's at the lows and there's possible support at a really, really big psychological level. So if you guys were listening, you know, we're like, hey, I'm a long trader and I want to, where should I get in? Where I told you where to get in, right? I said at 101. If it can't break 101, then it's if it holds that level, it's gonna give you a nice move higher. I thought 125. It gave us like what, 115, Okay, I guess it gave us 112, 113 almost. So it might still go up, but I thought maybe it would bounce to 125, but. Yeah, well, remember what I said, 125. Man, this thing's crazy though. This thing's crazy. Like, you can see now, the buyers are stepping in, shorts are covering. This is what you call a short squeeze. This is what you call a short squeeze. When you see these kind of levels coming in, you see this green volume just ripping it higher, and these shorts trying to get in but not able to stop it from going higher and just kind of capitulating. That's, yeah. You're going to see this thing rip back up over 120, 130s. So what I said, it's going to bounce to 125. Oh, and it's okay, and that makes a lot of sense. I didn't even realize we were in the close. Okay, so the markets are closed. So GME is pushing higher. And remember what I was saying, right? People will probably look at this low and realize that, hey, maybe if I get in here for the close, it's probably gonna want to go higher, right? Because of the fact that it kind of made that base and it double tapped. Right? It double tapped once this morning and once here, right? It's double tapped at that 101 level twice. Bam. First time it bounced back to 180 or 150 and then 180. The second time it bounced back to 120s. And in the after hours, we're now up to 125. Which is exactly where I said it was going to bounce to. So it was either going to flush, rip down below 100 to like 50 or 60, or it was going to probably get halted, or it was going to rip up to 125. And now all the logs that got it at 100 are getting out. It's simple. Yeah. But I think that's going to be it for today, guys. I showed you my trades on GME, AMC. I have a recap video that I'm going to be putting out basically right after this, so stay tuned for that. Other than that, those are my trades for the day. Hopefully you guys were green on GME or AMC. If not, hopefully you learned something. If you have any questions or you want to know kind of my strategies and why I look to trade some of the things I do, and let's give a quick update on PLTR as well. So I'm kind of shocked actually that PLTR is as low as it is. And I actually think I might add to this right now, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna see if I can get I'm gonna go change my account here because I'm pretty sure I can buy right now. So I'm gonna see if I can buy this right here. Good. So, and that was just because I was just waiting. I was gonna add to that position either way. So, getting in there at 23.85 is not. I'm not against that really. Fine with that. It's really kind of where I wanted to get in, to be honest with you. So it's not bad there. Yeah, but that's it. I might even add more to this if this thing keeps going lower and goes to 23.50. I might even add more because I think we're going to see a bounce from this. Wow, I was not expecting to see that kind of a move to the downside, but yeah. Like I said in my update and my kind of recap for when I was talking about my trade in PLTR, swing trading it, I'm gonna add to this. If this keeps going lower, I'm gonna keep adding. That's just the only way to play it. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, that's gonna be my plan for PLTR. Surprised to see it as low as it is, but we've kind of had this crazy, and I feel like a lot of eyes today were on AMC and GME, which allowed the kind of bears to take control of a lot of stocks. So we're going to see if we have another red day tomorrow. If we do, then maybe we'll look to add to some, to PLTR. But as of right now, we're going to step away and, yeah. We will upload our recap video, and you guys can check that out now. All right. Have a good day, guys.